Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hafsa Yasmin, and today we are here with another lecture of public international law. So, in the previous lecture, we have discussed that what is public international law, what is the scope of public international law, what is the strength and what are the strengths and weaknesses of public. Today we will start from the Charter of the United Nations and Statute of the International Court of Justice. Like the law which has to be followed by International Court of Justice ultimately. We will in detail about these articles in this lecture and in next lectures inshallah. The United Nations was done at San Francisco on 26 June 1945. 26 June 1945, and it was enforced or we can say it was implemented to enforce on 24th October 1945. Done at 26 June 1945 and entered into force on 24th October 1945. So the purpose and principles of this charter. This is the Article 1 of the United Nations Charter. Keep this in mind. So first article, we can say the first point is to maintain international peace and security, and to that end to take effective collective measures for the prevention and removal of threats to the peace. So the main purpose of this International Human Charter, or we can say United Nations Charter, is to maintain peace internationally, to maintain security internationally, and take the effective measures like effective collective measures, like all of the states will part of that taking that particular measure to secure the world from any kind of threat and to maintain peace. Second one, to develop friendly relations among nations based on respect for the principle of equal rights and self-determination of the people, and to take other appropriate measures to strengthen universal peace. इसका क्या मतलब है कि यूनाइटेड नेशंस फ्रेंडली रिलेशन मेंटेन कराएगा between the two states, and those friendly relations will be on the principle of equal rights, कि कोई एक स्टेट किसी दूसरी स्टेट से बेहतर या बढ़तर नहीं होगी, एंड अल्टीमेटली उस स्टेट के लोगों की सेल्फ डिटर्मिनेशन को सिक्योर किया जाएगा, एंड टू टेक द अप्रोप्रिएट मेजर्स टू स्ट्रेंथन यूनिवर्सल पीस, कि जब भी किसी दो स्टेट्स के दरमियान अगर मामला जो हैं वो they are not settled down, they are not at peace, United Nations will make sure that both the states develop relation with each other, develop friendly relation with each other on the basis of equal right, and ultimately because of their friendly relations there will be a universal peace. Third, to achieve international cooperation in solving international problems of an economic, social, cultural, or humanitarian charter, and in promoting and encouraging respect for human rights. So the next one is United Nations basically make sure the cooperation in solving international problems of an economic, social, cultural, or humanitarian charter. कि अगर किसी भी मेंबर स्टेट के साथ, वो स्टेट जो यूनाइटेड नेशंस की मेंबर स्टेट है, उसके साथ किसी भी किस्म का इकोनॉमिक इशू आ जाता है, कोई भी सोशल इशू आ जाता है, कोई भी कल्चरल इशू आ जाता है, जो बेसिकली ह्यूमैनिटेरियन चार्टर के अकॉर्डिंग है, तो यूनाइटेड नेशन उस मसले को दूसरी स्टेट्स के साथ मिल के हल कराने की पाबंद है, and in promoting and encouraging respect for human rights, that ultimately the United Nations will make sure that because of that particular thing, because of this particular phenomena, किसी भी स्टेट के लोगों के ह्यूमन राइट्स जो हैं वो अफेक्ट ना हो. Next one is to be a center for harmonizing the action of nation in attainment of these common ends. उसके बाद यूनाइटेड नेशन बेसिकली इन तमाम स्टेट्स को एक जगह पे हार्मोनाइज करता है, एक सेंटर प्रोवाइड करता है जहाँ पे इन तमाम स्टेट्स से बेसिकली अपने गोल्स अचीव कराने की कोशिश की जाती है। और what is basically that common end is at the end is basically peace। पीस प्रमोट करने की बात की जाती है। नेक्स्ट प्रिंसिपल्स आर्टिकल 2 जो है वो प्रिंसिपल्स को किस तरह से एक्सप्लेन करता है। The United Nations organization is based on the principle of the sovereign equality of all its members. What does sovereign equality means? It means that all the states are equal about their freedom, that no state can interfere another state internally or externally. All the members, in order to ensure to all of them the rights and benefits resulting from the membership, shall fulfill in good faith the obligation assumed by them in accordance with the present charter। कि वो तमाम स्टेट्स जो बेसिकली यूनाइटेड नेशन के बेनिफिट से, यूनाइटेड नेशन के राइट्स से फ़ायदा उठाना चाहती हैं और जो कि मेंबर स्टेट हैं, उनके लिए बदले में क्या ज़रूरी है, व्हाट इज़ बेसिकली द ऑब्लिगेशन फॉर देम, कि वो भी एक गुड फेथ के साथ अकॉर्डिंग टू यूनाइटेड नेशन यूनाइटेड नेशंस चार्टर जो है वो काम करेंगे। फर्स्ट वन इज़ बेसिकली कि तमाम स्टेट्स जो हैं वो सॉवरेनिटी के प्रिंसिपल्स के साथ काम करेंगी, जो भी मेंबर स्टेट्स होंगी। सेकंड वन इज़ कि तमाम स्टेट्स जो हैं they can enjoy, or like all member states can ultimately enjoy the rights and benefits from the United Nations Charter, but ultimately they are obliged to fulfill their duties in accordance or in return as well. Next one is all members shall settle their international disputes by peaceful means in such a manner that international peace and security and justice are not endangered। क्या है जी कि तमाम मेंबर स्टेट्स अपने इंटरनेशनल डिस्प्यूट्स को पीसफुली रिजॉल्व करेंगी। एग्जाम्पल हम ये देख सकते हैं कि both India and Pakistan are the member states of United Nations, and there is this dispute of Kashmir. So what both the nations required, both the nations should resolve this particular matter. Both the nations should resolve this particular issue with peaceful manners, and they should keep in mind that they have to maintain the international peace and security and justice, and these particular features of United Nations shouldn't be affected in any way. Then all members shall refrain in their international relations from the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state। कि तमाम मेंबर स्टेट्स अपने इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस को इस तरह से मेंटेन करेंगी कि वो किसी दूसरी स्टेट के टेरिटोरियल जुरिस्डिक्शन को, किसी दूसरी स्टेट की पॉलिटिकल इंडिपेंडेंस को किसी भी तरीके से इफेक्ट ना करें। फॉर एग्जांपल, if America is influencing the world in any way, ultimately as a United Nations member they are doing or they are committing a wrong act, then all members shall give the United Nations every assistance in any action it takes in accordance with the present charter। कि तमाम मेंबर्स अगर उनके साथ किसी भी किस्म का इशू आ जाता है जो कि बेसिकली यूनाइटेड नेशंस के असिस्टेंस से लिंक करता है, तो they should let United Nations take action according to the charter of the United Nations, so the issue would be resolved in peaceful manners। Next, the organization shall ensure that states which are not members of the United Nations act in accordance with these principles so far as may be necessary for the maintenance of international peace and security। As we all know that there are all of the states are not members of the United Nations, but the states not members of the United Nations, we can only make sure the peace in the world until or unless all the states want work on the principles of the United Nations. Either they are part of the United Nations or they are not part of the United Nations. Then next, nothing contained in present charter shall authorize the United Nations to intervene in matters which are essentially within the domestic jurisdiction of any state. Then United Nations Charter or uh, mentioned this thing, that United Nations will never ever indulge in the internal matter or in the domestic matters of any of the state, and the matters which are solely linked with the state internal matters. Here I just want to put an example. As we all know that India claimed that Kashmir is basically a domestic jurisdiction matter of India, but in this matter they are wrong, because this was, if this was an internal matter, why India even bothered to took the matter to the United Nations in after 1948? If they consider this matter as an internal matter or a domestic matter, they shouldn't took this matter to the United Nations, and now they are claiming that basically Kashmir is their internal matter ultimately, and and we all know that they have put a common constitution in India, sorry, Kashmir as well. The membership, article number 3 is this is basically article number 3. The original members of the United Nations shall be the states which, having participated in the United Nations Conference on the International Organization at San Francisco, or having previously signed the Declaration by United Nations of 1st January 1942, signed the present charter and ratified it according with the Article 110. We will study in detail the Article 110 in later lectures. So basically, all the states are the members of the United Nations who have signed the United Nations Charter, which was basically initiated on 1st January 1942, and these are basically the core members of the United Nations. Later on, if any of the state is agreeing on the United Nations Charter, and they get and the state get enough votes from the permanent members of the United Nations, yes, then yes, the other country or the other state can be the member of the United Nations as. Thank you for today. Hope to see you in the next lecture.